Hello, Aries, and welcome to your January 2026 forecast. This will be for the new year, and we're going to do a bonus portion, which is 4 extra cards looking at the 4 quarters of the upcoming year. I'm going to swap that in instead of the expanded forecast. Thank you for your flexibility on that. All right, let's get into channeled messages. One of the main things that I was picking up on in dreams and meditation was the importance of managing your resources. This includes time, energy, and money. And the main thing that I was picking up on was a chance to be more efficient and effective. I'm not necessarily seeing that there's going to be a lack, but that you may be overextending yourself socially, you may be overspending, or you may be overcommitted. And by being a little bit more discerning and focusing, you can get more done more quickly, more efficiently, and you'll be happier in the process. You won't need as much. Then you'll have a surplus where you can spend that time, energy, or money to further some other goals and dreams in your life. So take some time today in advance of January and do a little bit of a mental and emotional audit and ask yourself, am I getting what I put into this person, place, or thing? Like, is it getting returned? Is it reciprocated? Or is it a one-way street? And if it's a one-way street, it might be time to turn off that connection and focus on something else. I also see themes of leadership coming forth. For some of you, this could be a new boss, a new teacher, or a new mentor, but it could also be a chance for you to speak up, to step up to the plate and take a little bit more sort of responsibility or accountability. And that's part of the reason that the first message is to basically push away some of the clutter. And the clutter being how you're spending your time, energy, and money, but it could also be things around you too. So if it's been a minute, we're in the winter now here in the Northern Hemisphere, but it doesn't matter. You can do spring cleaning any time of year. Take a look at what you're carrying with you physically, because that also carries energy. And there may be a chance to basically clear your space, clear your mind, clear your energy just by getting rid of some old things, whether it's clothing or, just things that are outdated that you don't need. Find a better home for those, and you'll be clearer and cleaner in the process. And I just keep getting it's kind of like this mantra of working smarter with what you've got, and you'll find that you have more than enough, and then you can use the surplus that's really always been there and use it to initiate other goals and dreams. I feel like it's going to be a busy and productive January. So without any further delays, let's take a look at the cards and see how these channeled messages align and also what new things come through. All right, I just noticed that Apollo joined us, so let me give him a quick pat on the head and then we'll begin. All right, let's get started. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that there is a circle of light around your body. Within this circle, know that you are safe, protected, and connected to Source. As I said, we're going to do a regular Celtic Cross, and then I'll expand it later to look at the 4 months of the year rather than our normal health, wealth, love, and destiny. Just changing it up this month, since we have a new year upon us. All right, we'll do our normal catalyst and then begin. All right, we're starting to see our first synchronicity here with your catalyst. It reads pure spirit and more specifically purification. As you can see, the card came through in the reverse position. We can interpret this as detoxification or decluttering, which we were talking about with all the channeled messages. So anywhere in your life where you've been resisting clearing things up a little bit, maybe eating a cleaner diet with less sugar or less caffeine, or kind of cleaning up how you're dealing with exercise and sleep and all of that. Obviously, anytime you make these changes, you'll want to work with your doctor, but anything that you can do to start the new year off with clarity, particularly in what you're putting into your body or what you're surrounding yourself with, it can only lead to positive outcomes. So this is a time for detoxification. As you know, relationships can be toxic too. So that's why I was saying do a little bit of an audit of the people, the places, and the things that you're investing your energy into, and ask yourself, is it worth it? Let's get into the main spread here. We have the Chariot right at the center. And of course, this is a card of leadership, and right on top of it, another card of leadership. Also, beautiful synchronicity with what I was talking about, where there might be someone new coming into your life, and you have to ask yourself, am I in alignment with what they're saying, doing, or trying to encourage me to do? The reason that this is so potent and important is we have the Chariot in reverse. So this can represent a shift in direction. It's almost like you're taking the steering wheel in your car and turning it, maybe making a right-hand turn or a 180. So there's a course correction. And again, it could be because you don't align with it, the leadership is poor, or you've just changed as a person. And this happens as we get older, as we get more experienced, as we gain, sort of perspective. What made sense when we were a kid doesn't necessarily still make sense. So I see a pivot happening for many of you. And there may be someone in your life, because we have this card crossing it, that is having a difficult time allowing you to take the wheel. The Empress is a great card. For you, you can embody the Empress energy by simply saying, this is what I want, taking accountability, really sort of like it's a card of creation and birthing and setting things into motion. But there could be someone who has a hard time seeing you not need them. And that codependency can happen in any relationship, a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, and of course, a parent or sibling. So wherever that might exist, you are entitled and maybe more prepared than you think to take the wheel and drive, okay? So that's the first message that I'm picking up on. There could also be this feeling of, for you, like letting go of something that you've been working on for a while can be hard. So perfectionist tendencies, trying to control every little piece. And there does come a point in your life where it's just time to birth it and release it. So the fact that the Empress is kind of touching all of these center cards, trying to firmly control all of them, yet they're reversed, it's kind of showing me that you may be holding on to something longer than you need to. We'll look at that more as we go through the spread, but baby steps here. I love this Three of Wands. So this is in the deep past, and it represents the fact that you're already there. This is a card that is connected with now, like right here, right now. And normally you see ships coming in on the horizon. She's even a level above that. She's like out in outer space, seeing it from a cosmic perspective. So if you needed some sort of a time marker, hey, Nicholas, when should I start? Now. Hey, Nicholas, when is this coming in? Now. If you're not seeing it, it's about looking in a different direction because it's already happening somewhere around you. Maybe not right in front of you, but it could be happening adjacent or like through a connection of yours. So start to look in different directions and see if you can't find a way to make something happen sooner than you expected. I'd like to pull the traditional card for just a moment before we go on to the next message. You can see the little ships here in the background, this person kind of passively standing at the top of a cliff and watching and waiting for them to come in. So from this, we can discern that they're ready, they're expecting it. Like I said, you've done the work. But I always wonder, why not go a little closer? Why not meet the ships halfway? I was talking about perspective. So we're looking at him, watch these ships come in. If he happened to be looking the other direction, or if he was distracted looking at his phone, he would miss that oncoming synchronicity. And so whether you're trying to find a job, a relationship, a place to live, whatever it is you're trying to do, there are sort of like passages that are opening up, but they may not be where you're looking or expecting. So Three of Wands also encourages us to explore a little bit. This is a card of travel and exploration. It's not always the first thing that's discussed when you see it. And that's why you'll notice when I read, I like to sometimes compare and contrast. She's going into the most cosmic perspective. She's in every dimension, in every direction. He's a little bit more practical, tactical, and grounded. But if you're too grounded in something having to happen in one shape, way, or form, or time, you may be limiting yourself. Think bigger. All right, as we take a look here at the recent past, the word that comes to mind is listen. This is from both perspectives, but when someone else is talking, make sure that your own internal monologue isn't getting in the way and that you're actively listening, taking notes, and then checking your assumptions. The same holds true for people that hopefully are listening to you. Ask them if they understood, if they have questions, and just making sure that everybody's on the same page. That's message number one. Page of Swords is all around communication. When reversed, it can also be revision. So if you don't like something, circle it and say, why? Ask. You can ask, why are we doing this? Can I have some more time, energy, money, support? You can also ask, what other things might be possible. Listening and asking, really, really important here. This is also a card of brevity and action. So once you've gotten the clarity you need, say thanks and let's get started. Engage, turn that, key in the ignition and make things happen. Now is the time. I definitely get an energy of right here, right now, particularly with all of these cards here. So it's time to change direction. You might be thinking of starting a new job, getting into or out of a relationship, moving, something pivotal that requires a little bit more independence. You've done the work to make this happen. It's a matter of speaking up and, again, sort of turning that key. Now we have 2 cards in the crowning position. The first one is the Ace of Wands, and the second is a reversed High Priestess. Let's talk about it. First, we'll begin with the Ace of Wands upright. So you could have an idea that you want to share with someone. Fantastic. Someone else could be doing the same with you. So it's idea exchange. I talked about birthing, releasing, creating, Empress energy. This is the same thing. This would be you saying, I'm finished with this, and you're handing it off. You're handing it off, you're launching it, you're announcing it. It's not just sort of like, hey, what do you think about this? This could be actual delivery. Okay, I'm finished now. Let's go to the next phase. This can also be something where you want input. You could be asking, because the hands here represent all 3 of those things: giving, receiving, or requesting. So in the form of requesting, you could say, I need an idea on this. I'm kind of blocked. What do you think? So you could be requesting input. Now is the time to do any and all of these this month. So if you feel stuck, someone around you can help. If you feel like you're ready to release something, great. If you're holding on to something too long, it still feels like it's time to let it go. So movement is intrinsic to that. High Priestess in reverse. You probably already know how to make that Ace of Wands happen. It's just a matter of trusting your instincts this month. Now, this is really powerful. You put the 2 of these together. There could also be someone that is coming in and trying to get you to change your mind, because this is an idea like a light bulb. They could be trying to take your idea, don't let them, or they could be trying to push their own sort of like idea on you and get you to own it. So really be clear with your thoughts. I was talking about clarity and purity. It's really important when it comes to your thoughts. And specifically when we're looking at intellectual property in business, make sure it's clear who came up with the idea, who owns it, and how it's going to be executed. So that's a very clear piece there. In relationships, because I'm kind of doing it all at once since we're not expanding it like we normally would, this is someone that's trying to show how they feel. Ace of Wands shows clear attraction, but the High Priestess in reverse shows someone who might be a little bit afraid to put themselves out there. So pay attention to subtle cues, okay? Looking now at the near future, we have 5 of Cups in the reverse position. Interestingly enough, I have an unusual interpretation that's coming to mind, which is it's guilt. I wouldn't normally connect it with this, but let's say there's someone in your life that's struggling, but something good is happening to you. There could be mixed feelings. That's another way to look at it, where you were wondering, like, why was I spared? Look at all these other people that are going through something difficult. The flip side could be true, where you're thinking, I've been putting in work. They're doing the same thing, but they're successful. I'm disappointed. Mixed feelings. Even though you want to be happy for them, you're not. Or even though you should be feeling happy, you're not. And so ground and center yourself. It's really important for you to get into your own space, your own energy, and look at how far you've come. And not so much compare yourself to someone else. I think that's where the water is getting muddied a little bit. A traditional interpretation of this card is grief, loss, disappointment. Flipping this around is looking at what you can gain from that difficult experience. For instance, that was hard, but I survived. I'm stronger than I think. For instance, that was really, really gut-wrenching, and I know I never want to go through that again. I learned. So I have more strength, I have perspective, I know what I don't want, and now I know who's there through thick and thin. Those 2 cups can represent an ally, a friend, someone who really has your back. The bridge in the background can represent an opportunity that's waiting for your emotional state to get where it needs to. So maybe before you can take that next leap, whether it's in a relationship, a job, or life in general, there just has to be this letting go. letting go of beating yourself up, comparing yourself to others, or having these mixed feelings. Really get to your feelings about yourself in this moment in time. We have to clarify it a little bit. I do think that there is something around you or someone around you. That's their experience, their path, their life. Don't compare anymore. Really focus on the here, the now, and the next. All right, let's take a look at how you're showing up here. We have the Emperor card in the reverse position. This can be a call to action. There may be someone in your life that you have to stand up to and put a line in the sand and say enough is enough. I mentioned that there could be something going on with leadership, and this can indicate reclamation of power. A reversed Emperor is realizing I've always had the power and potential, but maybe I'm not using it, or maybe I'm afraid to use it, and it's time to evaluate that sort of like connection that you have to your own power. This can also be a reminder for you not to micromanage. And when I have to be constructively critical, I will. So there may be someone in your life and you're worried, will they be able to do it? Are they going to be okay? Give them all the tools that they need to succeed and then let them try. If they make a mistake, help them. Constructively give them some support and help them fix it and let them know, you've got this. I know you can do it. It might take a second attempt or a third attempt, but when they finally get it, then you no longer have to sort of like micromanage that one thing. You are free to focus on other things. So one of the ways that you can free up your time, energy, and resources is to realize you're not the only one that can do everything. And I say it with love because I too like certain things to be a certain way. But there are times when, like I'm going to be moving in a week, where you just have to let some other people take it. They're going to pack the box. They're going to move it. I cross my fingers, hope for the best. Insurance will cover the rest. Sometimes you just have to let go of things because you're one person and there are many things going on around you. This can represent a parent, a teacher, or an authority figure that hovers in. They're in your energy. So I'm either reading your energy or someone in your energy. And when it's like a helicopter mom or dad or authority figure, they could be doing what I just said, which is micromanaging and saying, are you done yet? This is really important. You know that this is important, right? And these things don't actually help. So instead, empower and say, I trust you and I'm here as a resource if you need anything. Ask questions. You know where I'm at. Like, that's a better way to support. And if someone makes a mistake, say, all right, how did we get here? How can we fix this together? Let's make this work. Keep the team energy in there, empower yourself and others, and let it go. This can also be a moment where you need to take better care of yourself. So both Emperor and Empress in reverse it's like an invitation from Spirit to say, all of this stuff that you do to help others, because these are like the maternal and paternal cards, all of that support that you give to others, are you doing the same for yourself? Are you giving yourself the resources, the time, the nourishment, whatever it is that you might be lacking to get exactly what you need? And if not, now is the time to basically assert your power, your independence, and take care of you. This could be a great time, for instance, to take a class, to get really, intense and specific about what you want to do to clear up health, relationships, financial blocks that might exist. It's your time, it's your moment, okay? All right, in the environment, we have a pushy kind of energy here with the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands often comes through right on the heels of success. And if we take a look here at the traditional card for a moment, I think it shows the story a little bit better. So sometimes when you have things that are going your way, there's more opportunity that's knocking. There's more expectations. There can be a little bit more scrutiny. So some of you might just simply be doing a good job. And this is about multitasking, managing, and pushing back. Going way back to the channeled messages when I was saying it's important to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. This is you speaking up for yourself. It's also connecting with the Emperor card, reclaiming power, and again, establishing boundaries, guidelines, expectations, etc. The main thing with the Seven of Wands is to know how to have that new sense of confidence and power without feeling that you have to kind of like get stressed out or be too pushy. Ease into the knowing that this is okay. Really, I think this is going to be in all aspects of your life, relationships, work, and just general life. Having boundaries, knowing when to say when, it's going to save you a lot of time and energy in the long run. Now, when we go to starting something new, this can be doing it with so much fervor and so much excitement that, again, you might like strain a muscle, for instance, if you're working out. So pace yourself. Don't feel like you have to make a change completely overnight. If you are taking this chariot and, turning direction, pushing yourself in a new direction, it takes time. And just like turning in the car, you have to look both ways before you go. Okay? So just a little bit of a note there on being aware of what you need, having those boundaries, and that's going to help you be successful. In hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have a devil card in reverse. The high priestess that I mentioned, this is the crowning card, which is also reversed, is basically picking up on this energy. But there is sometimes self-doubt that gets in the way. Trust yourself. If something feels like it's too good to be true, if you feel like you need more research, or if you just don't get a good instinct, it's not the right time to move forward in that direction. So be discerning and look at the strings that are attached. So here's a more modern card for the devil. You'll notice that the devil is holding this person kind of like a puppet. And in the same time, the devil looks beautiful, right? So sometimes there can be a tempting offer in front of you, but there's a part of you, a subtle voice that is saying, but it's probably not going to be good, or I'm going to regret this. I want you to listen to that quieter thought rather than whatever is, shiny in front of you. Because the devil is going to make a good case for himself, but he always wins when it comes to a bargain. So in a contract, an opportunity, anything where you feel like, I deserve more, I should speak up. Or if you think it doesn't smell right, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't set right, trust that, okay? In relationships, the devil, of course, can represent a Capricorn, but the reversed devil can represent someone who isn't ready to give you what you need. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're attached to someone, although we can take that as a cue, but it could just mean that they're more attached to something else. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's their own sort of like career goal or aspiration, and it's like, you know what, I want to do this first. I don't have room for you. So there's something selfish about that person, that opportunity, that shiny thing on the horizon, and you deserve something that's more on the level, that can give you what you need, and there may be something with this new and incoming energy that's not quite there. Now, in existing relationships, this can be honesty and integrity, and there may be something that's lacking, and it's important when something comes up where it's like, you didn't tell me the truth, or I didn't tell you the truth. You have to get to the bottom of that quickly. The rest of this spread is pretty good. This is an immutable position, meaning that it can be avoided or it can be fixed. So honesty and integrity, get it out in the open as soon as possible. And this can also represent a third party, someone who really should mind their own business. It could be a well-intentioned friend, colleague, or family member that's butting themselves into your business. And it's like, this is why in the environment you were pushing back a little bit. This is why in your own energy, it's sort of like, wait a second, this is my life, this is my partner, this is my choice. So we're also seeing that reclamation of power, and the devil represents one of the biggest power struggles because he wants all the power, right? So trust in yourself and your ability to push back as necessary. Trust in the high priestess energy that we saw in the crowning position. She knows what's best, but she might be blocked by someone else's desires, by someone else's needs. And it's really important here for you to clear it all out. That's why the purification came through here. Okay, let's move to your outcome. We have in the upright position, the hanged man or the hanged one. I love this beautiful illustration, but it's a little harder to discern what it's all about. So let's go to a more traditional version of it. So right around the head, you'll see these beams of light or a nimbus, a halo. And this card basically represents a necessary pause. It's not always convenient. Oftentimes the universe will throw in something that we don't intend or want, but it's there to help us reconsider or consider what we should be doing. Why are we doing what we're doing? Okay? And this is basically a reality check that before making the next move, you really have to understand the how and the why. Slow down. Don't rush. So there may be this instinct to simply get up and run or jump in head first. This is saying neither. I would actually connect this to something almost like the Eight of Cups. Take a step back, get your bird's eye view, then and only then proceed. Make room in your schedule this month for delays. It might be like travel delays. If you're trying to get something started, there may be additional money or time that's needed. Something about it won't be as convenient as you want, but if you push through that and eventually, if you're patient and wait for the right moment, it's going to be stronger for that patience that you've given yourself, okay? I think that we're tracking well on time. I just looked at the clock. So I'm going to give us a little bit of room to do an expanded forecast right now, but I'm only going to pull a single card for each category, and we're not going to spend much time on it because I do want to leave room for the quarterly. But I still think as I'm doing this, I'm like, we still need to touch on those points. There's a reason that I included them. So we're going to do an expanded, but a truncated expanded forecast for health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to pull one card for each. I'm going to do that right now. And then we'll do the 4 for each of the quarters. So health, wealth, love, destiny. All right, we're going to start off with health, mind, body, spirit. Movement. It's time to move forward. So for many of you, you may be, like I said, holding on to an old place that you might be living in that you've outgrown. Maybe because you've expanded the family. Maybe because you've just acquired more things and it doesn't feel like it's able to kind of support you in this next phase. So we see movement here. It could be moving up, moving out, moving on. Some of you may be ready to travel as well because you need to experience more in your life. From a general health perspective, the Six of Swords is about moving the body, and it's also about making sure that you make time to be outside. So a change of environment, moving or expanding your space, and I mentioned earlier, kind of decluttering could also be a part of this. And when it comes to something in your life related to health, let's say you wanted to start something, being healthier when it comes to, your just general sleep routine or exercise or diet, kick it into motion. So it's time to take action on it, and we see that she's rowing the boat. So you are an active driver, participant, and mover of this thing in your life, this new moment in your health. Because I did glance at the cards, I just want to tie it to one other one. The devil energy is also about saying, I no longer need or want this thing that could be holding me back, and I need to let it go. Okay? Let's move on, moving from health to wealth, which is resources, life purpose, and career. Choose happiness. The Three of Swords is why we got that Five of Cups energy. Something just may no longer be serving its purpose. The thrill is gone. So I want to make sure that whatever the next thing is that you're doing in your personal path, whether it's school, career, activities, whatever, that it fulfills you, that it's healing. Some of you may be trying to help the world around you in your career. And healing is a necessary piece to this. We're in a place right now where there's a lot of, disruption and pain. So this is a time where we need more than ever a healer, a helper. Other things that I see here, there's not a lot of pentacles. So if you are unhappy and you're not getting what you need with respect to money or support, then why? It's time to look for something that at least, pays and makes you feel better. There could be some changes, like I said, in management, and some of you are deciding, am I in, am I out? There's a very entrepreneurial spirit coming forth this month, so you can do this. You have to trust your instincts. That's the number one piece of advice I could give you with the Ace of Wands and the High Priestess reversed. Trust your instincts, and you don't have to decide immediately, but by the end of the month. The Hanged Man is encouraging just a little bit of prudence and research and allowing yourself to sit with it for a couple of weeks before deciding. I saw the number 7, so a week at least, and then make your decision and then move forward. But generally speaking, it's time to be happy, and it's time for more fulfillment. And if it's lacking in your resources, your life purpose, your career, then it's time to rearrange here. Remember what I said about these two cards. Listen, because there may be an opportunity that is closer than you would imagine. Listen, ask, and see if there isn't something right in the sort of periphery. And it could hit for any of the categories, whether you're looking for work, whether you're retired, whether you're trying to start something. It feels like you're just one step away, but you've been focusing in the wrong space. So broaden your perspective just a little bit. Let's go to love and relationships. We have a good card here. We have the Queen of Cups, which is also, it's not just about finding love, it's about being in the frequency of love and being happy with yourself. She is not going to settle because she knows her worth. Queens and kings do. So you've got, and we had queens and kings coming through with the Emperor and the Empress. The only thing that I would advise here with relationships, whether you're looking for love or you're in love, is to make sure when we're looking at the power dynamics that you can, like I said, keep an open door, but the other party has to want to do it. They have to want to make the improvement. They have to want to meet you halfway. And you can't force that if they're not ready, okay? I do see attraction. So by the way, whether you're in a relationship, looking for love, or single and happy, we have a very attractive symbol around you. So you can pull in opportunities if you're looking for it, and partnerships are fairly good. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about, I talked about earlier, is the reverse devil. Someone who, and I feel like the devil's going to reveal itself. They'll say something like this: you deserve better, or I'm not sure if I can do this right now, or I feel like I'm in over my head, or you're out of my league, or something like that, where they're revealing that there's an insecurity. I want you to listen to it and don't talk them out of it. Just say, I don't agree with you, but I'm not going to convince you otherwise. Thanks for letting me know. I would just say, thanks. I didn't know that you felt that way. I don't feel that way, but if you feel that way, thank you for expressing that, because I don't want to waste time. I need someone who's ready, and it seems like you're not ready. Give them time and space. If they change, great. But like if somebody reveals their true colors, you want to accept that. And there might just be someone where, particularly when you're looking at new friendships and new love, the wounds are too deep. They're not quite ready to get past that rebound yet. So give people time and space. All right. Finally, Destiny, 9 of Wands. It is reversed, and it's saying don't give up and don't lose track of how far you've come and what you're trying to do. You're very, very close to the finish line here, okay? Right now, one thing that could be difficult is both motivation, and that card can represent sort of like a headache or things kind of bouncing around in your head. It feels like meditation would be so helpful in this moment. It's going to help you basically not get overwhelmed and again, see something to the finish line. All right, we are now going to take a look at the quarterly forecast, which is going to comprise, the 4 quarters of the year. Don't worry, I'll put it on the screen. So first quarter, second quarter, third, and fourth. All right, let's begin with the first quarter. January, February, and March. You have the Queen of Pentacles. She's in the reverse position. This is still a good money card, and I'm happy to see Queen of Pentacles coming through. A reverse Queen of Pentacles, much like the Emperor in reverse, needs to learn in this quarter to advocate for themselves. So in contracts, in relationships, and in anything where you deserve a seat at the table, you might have to just shoulder your way in a little bit and say, wait a second. I love that we see, by the way, age and experience in this card. I have some thoughts. I've been through this before. You should listen. So lean into your experience. Never second guess or sell yourself short. That High Priestess in reverse, she's one of the reasons that this card wasn't upright. So you need to trust in your ability. Don't give to the point of fatigue or exhaustion. So one thing that I'm learning as I get older is that there is like a finite amount of time, energy, and money that you can put into something. You have to then say, I need help, or I've had enough. So she knows when to say that because she's earned those gray hairs and those wrinkles. This is also a personal development period. I was talking about that earlier, taking classes, working on yourself, making sure that you have all of the things that you so often give to others in your life. Advocate for that, lean into it. This is your moment. This is your time. Overall, it looks like it's a pretty good period. But with the card being reversed, I do think it's important in this first quarter of the year to make sure that you're budgeting. There may be more expenditures than you expect. There may be more outgoing energy tapping at your resources. So not just budgeting, but also like pushing back and saying when enough is going to be essential. Sometimes it's hard to do, but remember, you don't want to go to the point of diminishing returns or no return. So boundaries are essential. Let's move into the second quarter, April, May, and June. Fantastic energy, 8 of Wands. Things are in motion. Things are busy. All of that work that you've done to budget, prioritize, and create boundaries is now paying off. This is the time to really set things into motion, whether it's launching, announcing, moving. 8 of Wands is just a great energy of productivity. And if there's a pet project that you want to put your time and energy into, this is where you're going to see a lot of fruitful progress. This is also a community card. We don't see the people, but those 8 wands were set into motion by others. So it's a time to network, to grow your existing group of friends, family, and chosen family so that you can get more people involved. Anything where you really want to see traction and movement, it's the second quarter of this year. And I just feel very optimistic about it. I don't think there's much more to say other than whatever you need to accomplish, that's your magic quarter so far. Now let's move into the third quarter, July, August, and September. It's a time to dream. It's a time to plan. And after all of the busy energy of the second quarter, we're making sure at this point of the year that everything is in alignment. There may be also people coming to you for ideas, for opportunities, for clarity. This is a card that's usually empowering something like the High Priestess, which you actually did receive. So if there was something that you've been, sort of thinking, I need to be ready for it, this is the wake-up call. It's saying now or never. So when it comes to a really big bucket list item, if not the third quarter of the year, I don't know when. So make it happen, set it into motion. This can also be a chance for you to kind of go further than you expected. This is innovation, ideation, dreaming, and then empowering the sort of creative energies of the High Priestess, the Magician, etc. So I'm feeling very good about the third quarter for you also. But this is less about what you see and more about what you want to do next. It's a period of time during which you're going to plant seeds of intention, where you're going to start to open up to new ways of thinking and doing things. It's an expansive phase, okay? As we take a look at the final quarter of the year, we have the Lovers coming through. Now, the fact that this card is reversed can represent new relationship dynamics. There may be people that are orbiting into your life. There may be other people where you're like, where are they gone? What's going on? The important thing when it comes to friendships and relationships is there's a natural progression and a natural ebb and flow. A lot of times when you've done everything that you signed up to do on a cosmic level, there's just a natural sort of like drifting away, and that might be happening, so don't panic. When you least expect it, new people could be coming into your life. And in that situation, embrace it. Don't second guess it. Also with the Lovers, it's one of the biggest magnet cards. So people are ready to connect with you, but there could be a lack of knowledge or understanding or embracing of your own charisma, potential, power. So lean into it. You can get a lot done when you start to just believe that you're worth it. Because if you can feel it and see it, others can feel it and see it as well. So just summarizing this year in 4 cards, the beginning portion of the year is really about reclaiming your worth, not just your power, but your worth, and making sure that you don't overexert yourself. The next 3 months are when things start to get busy. And in this situation, it's important to connect with others and don't get lost in the shuffle. Looking into the third quarter, it's a time to dream. It's a time to plan. And as much as you might want to see all of the immediate returns on those plans, they take time to basically take root and grow. Finally, it's going back to a different level of self-worth. This is more like you might be surprised at just how appreciated, loved you are, and what an impact you make. Don't be. Start to lean into that and prioritize people that unconditionally love you. This helps to basically undo the energy of the devil, because that is a one-way trip. We want people that love unconditionally and reciprocate. But overall, you have a pretty good spread for this year and for this month. All right, I always like to give you one final question. So if there's something that you still need a little clarity on, go ahead, ask Spirit now. The table is full here, but I'm going to pull one more card and we'll wrap up with this. No more room to shuffle. All right, so the answer to your question is it's time to move on here. We have the Death card. So if you were asking, can I move on? Yes. But if you want to do something, the Death card is saying there's probably a better way, or there's a change that needs to happen from within. So for a yes, no, it's a no, you can do better. And for those of you that were already ready to release something or move forth, it's a confirmation of that. Death is also rebirth. When you close one door, another opens. In order sometimes to expand, you have to release. Don't be afraid of letting go. And there were lots of themes this month of control and perfectionism, and it feels like now, especially as we begin this new year, it's time to let that go. All right? Change is the key. If you're leaning into the change, yes. If you're resisting it, then no. Okay? Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today. If you enjoyed this, by the way, it's free and it helps other people find the video. So like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment below. You can give back by putting a sticker with your comment as well, or by becoming a member of this channel, which does have perks. So feel free to do that if it feels aligned to you. The other thing you can do is give back via PayPal. There's a link there, and you can also go to my website for all official links to my social media. By the way, it's usually just my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. But when in doubt, go to the website or the main YouTube channel page. And that, my friends, is everything. Let's give Apollo one final pat on the head. He's so cute in the background. Hey, buddy. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a fantastic New Year's. Thank you so much for your love and support. Many of you for almost 11 years. It's been my pleasure and honor to be here. I wish you all the best now and always. Take care.